How do you talk to yourself? What is the inner dialogue from my like? When something goes wrong, especially when you think you made a mistake, do you talk to yourself with a harsh, critical, and judgmental tone? Or is your tone closer to one that is loving, compassionate, and full of empathy? I've always thought that it's better to be harsher to myself, because if I'm not, who will? Who will tell me to straighten myself out? Who will tell me to clean up my act? I realized this harshness stemmed from the fear of being a parasite and being called one. There's a lot of ways to put it. You name it. A leech, a bum, a freeloader, a loser. Someone who does not carry their own weight. Someone who just takes, and takes. But this mode of thinking had unintended consequences. Sure, I was able to get things done. I was able to set goals, keep on tasks, revise and improve along the way, and ultimately reach the goals. This all sounds well and good, but the hidden costs. My self-esteem was lacking. I felt like I always strove from a place of lack and scarcity. The drill sergeant in my mind took over, and anything I did to appease him was never enough. That's when I recognized the pattern. The pattern of negative self-talk wounded my self-image, which in turn made myself turn up the harshness of the self-talk. The cycle would then repeat itself. That's the funny thing about the patterns and the way we act. It's easier to recreate familiar yet unhealthy dynamics. We crave for the certain mediocrity rather than to strive and risk for an uncertain positive. The way the pattern was finally broken was by this technique for when I talk to myself. It involved imagining talking to a younger version of me, the inner child. At first, it was a painful imagery to absorb. It revealed something to me that I did not like. I did not like the harsh tone directed at my inner child. I did not like hearing the coldness from an older version of myself. So I asked and pondered, what did this inner child want? How did he want to be talked to? It was simple. He wanted to be met with compassion, patience, understanding, and love. Whenever I talk to myself now, I implement that. I meet that inner child with his needs. It's something very new to me, as it's a constant practice, but that unhealthy pattern was finally broken. That was it. I identified, addressed, and fixed the problem. The healing could finally start. The voice of the drill sergeant had a role, but there was a time and place for him. This was a completely different system for me. This technique of summoning the feels. I always used my logical and analytical brain. Equations, numbers, spreadsheets, and data were commonplace, but feeling emotions and connecting on a deeper level was something else. It was almost like learning a new language. In the end, the fear of being a parasite and all those negative words stayed being a fear. It has not, and I don't think it will ever come to pass. I am still driven to do things and achieve more. If anything, I feel even more motivated as I know a heavy burden has been lifted. The healing of the inner child still continues to this day. So, I asked again, how do you talk to yourself? How do you think your own inner child would like to be talked to?